Getting the first pull-up may be a puzzle for many people because learning every skill from 0 to 1 is the hardest. Don't worry, I'm here to help you to get that and share with you the best exercise to achieve it.
The queen, I'm the alpha, the omega, everything in between.
Ride with the mob, Allah, check you and me, in with your job.
What's going on, guys? This is Xavier here from Focus Athletes. Hope you guys are doing well. So let's say we are unable to do a pull-up, right? You need to identify is it a lack of strength or muscle. Actually, the answer is both. For us to perform this move, right, our body actually need to reach a certain foundation to let us to perform this pull-up naturally. For example, our grip, our forearm, our back to our legs is connected to this move, so it needs to develop a certain muscle to actually exert this strength to do a pull-up. So now the key is to focus on building the muscles that is required and select the correct exercises. First of all, we'll take a look at what is a good form of a pull-up, then we will review the bad form. A good pull-up, right, actually start with a very tight grip, like you want to actually bend the bar itself. So this tight grip will actually force you to provide energy to pull yourself upwards. And this grip will lead to your forearms and then to your shoulder and to your scapula. Your scapula must be depressed at this point of time. In this meantime, your scapula downwards to your legs, to your core, to your glutes, and they must be engaged. Because you don't engage your core and your glutes, right, later when you actually pull up, your body will kind of swing forward and back. So we does not want this as well. So when this core and your glutes are both engaged and together with your feet also, right, you are able to pull yourself upwards and downwards smoothly. Okay, now we'll take a look at what is the bad form of a pull-up. So a bad form is not only not using the energy efficiently, the muscle is also not engaged properly to actually perform this move. So that's why a lot of people, they didn't know that they made this mistake, that how come they cannot feel anything when they actually pull themselves outwards, or they cannot find the energy to pull themselves. First of all, you need to take a look at this grip, right? The grip is not fully gripping over the bar, but you can see that the thumb is actually on top of the bar. This actually not showing that the energy is being used from the grip onwards that we actually talked about earlier. So you can see that the scapula is actually relaxed, it's actually not engaged, which is a depressed scapula. Then you see that we are using momentum to actually pull ourselves upwards, so the form is not so nice as well. The legs is crossed. So when you remember that if you want to do a pull-up, it's a upwards and downwards movement. So we need to engage our body like a straight line to pull ourselves from the bottom to the top, then from the top to the bottom to make it nice. Okay, now we'll discuss some of the exercises that will help us to achieve the pull-up, starting from the least helpful to the most helpful. So this is just my personal opinion. So starting from the least helpful, which is the legs pull down. So I've been talking to people who actually train for their first pull-up, and then some of them have been training for years and years. That does not make any much progress because they have been using this legs pull down and only this legs pull down, because they thought that when they actually do this legs pull down, as long as it is closer to their body weight, they should be able to do a pull-up itself. So technically it's correct, but when you are actually sitting down to do this move, right, you're actually doing it wrongly, because when you're doing a pull-up, you're actually standing up and balancing yourself. So in terms of specificity, right, so it's not the same already. So when you're actually sitting down to do this legs pull down, you're not actually mimicking the real move. You're not actually engaging your core because you're sitting down, or your glutes itself. So I find this legs pull down is the least helpful. The second one on the list is actually this assisted pull-up machine. I know a lot of people are a fan of this because a lot of people go to the gym, they want to train for the pull-up. The first thing that they look for is this machine, because this seems like mimicking the real movement, right? So there's nothing wrong. But when you realize that when you're using this machine, you're actually reducing the weight that actually help you, right? You realize that when maybe you, after doing a few reps, you lack of strength already, your body will sort of curve together, or you're sort of using some momentum from your knees to actually help yourself to reach upwards. So this is kind of developing a bad habits. So if you do this long enough, right, then you're reducing the weight near to zero, right, you realize that the tougher you get, but maybe you're not also getting stronger. Part of it is also like, I have never heard that someone have actually using this machine to help them to actually achieve their first pull-up. Okay, now we'll talk about a few exercises that actually help us to achieve the first pull-up. So the first one is Australian pull-up. So this is also recommended by a lot of people, is because this is the exercises that we must first teach our body what is the feeling like to lift ourselves towards the bar. So this exercise, why is it so good, is because you can also change the difficulty by adjusting your feet. So the feet is getting away from the bar, means you are getting lower to the ground, then the difficulties will be increasing. So if let's say your feet is getting closer to the bar, so your body is away from the ground, you actually reduce the difficulty. So when is the time to actually move to the next progression? So you can actually do 8 to 10 reps easily for about 3 sets, getting used to this movement, then you can go to the next progression. Okay, the next progression is actually placing a bench or a chair underneath your feet so that your body is more parallel to the ground now. So this actually add more weights to this Australian pull-up, so it's also adding more difficulty. So if I actually comfortable with this, doing about 8 to 10 reps for 3 sets, you can actually move to the next progression. The next one is pull-up negative. So you want to find yourself a chair or a stool to help yourself to reach your chin above the bar. So you want to stop there for 1 second first, then slowly release yourself as controlled, as slow as possible to the ground. Because when you're actually able to control as slow as possible, you're also telling your body to actually build muscle required to do this move. So if you're as controlled as possible and you build up these reps, you will also build muscle memory. So it's the same, you want to do at least 8 to 10 reps for 3 sets. Okay, this one is my favorite, with the resistance band pull-up. So first of all, find yourself a thick band that you can maximally only do 7 to 8 reps. The reason why is because you don't want to use a band that can do 10 reps, right? Because it does not reap as much benefit for you. It does not pose as a challenge anymore. So it's time to move to a lighter band. So in this exercise, right? So let's say you're able to do 7 to 8 reps. So over time, you need to do more because you need to accumulate volume to gain muscle. So if you can do more than 8 reps, just do 9 to 10. So if let's say you're doing for 3 sets, right? So the first one you can able to reach 9, the second one you reach 8, then the third one you actually reach 8 reps, right? It's a sign for you to actually go for a lighter band. So it means that you're actually becoming stronger. So your next lighter band, right, maybe you can do 6, okay, then the second set you can do 5, again then 5. Then you keep doing this until you can reach like 8 to 9 reps. Then it's time for you to actually move to another lighter band until you can totally remove this band to actually do the actual pull-up. Okay, for the training program, I recommend to train 2 times per week. The reason why is because if you are training for 1 time per week, right, then you'll be resting for 6 days for another cycle to start again. So this is not telling your body to actually build more muscles or actually to train for this move. So let's say you train for 2 times per week. If you are training on Monday, so you can actually rest for either 1 day or 2 days in between. So the next training should be on Wednesday or Thursday. So this will be the best. On the actual training day itself, you can start with a warm-up first for 15 minutes. Make sure your joints, your back, your wrists are all warm up to execute the move. So after you finish the warm-up, you can start with the hardest exercise, which is the resistance band pull-up for 3 sets. Then after you finish that, you can go to the negative pull-up for 3 sets. After you finish that, you can go to the last exercise, which is the Australian pull-up for 3 sets again. So if let's say you're unable to do the resistance band pull-up, right, you can just go ahead with the negative pull-up until one day you can actually do the thickest resistance band pull-up. Just make sure that every of your training cycle you're actually doing a bit more reps, maybe only 1 reps is okay, or you actually do a better form. So you can also record yourself in the video whether you actually improve over time. So if you encounter any plateaus or not improvement from the last week, it's okay. So I believe that if let's say you're actually doing the exercise continuously and accumulate more reps, right, eventually you will actually gain more strength, because sometimes your tendons or your muscle may need more time to improve. Okay, I hope this tutorial will actually help you, and I hope to see your first pull-up in no time. So if you have any other questions, feel free to drop down in the comments section below. I'll be glad to answer them. Let me know what you want to see in the next content. See you in the next video.